All right, welcome. And this is going to be a overview of our deal analyzer and how we analyze our deals and the tool that we use to make sure that we are safe and making our offers. So let me get my screen shared here. All right, now what you're looking at is the deal analyzer. On the deal analyzer, there's 3 tabs that we're going to go through today. The first one is what we call our deal analyzer for flips. This is what breaks down the entire process of the deal from start to finish. That way, whenever we're making an offer, we know exactly what our profit's going to be at the end before we ever move forward. So first things first, you have your property address, square footage of the house, evaluator name if there are multiple members on your team, number of units, date, and whether it's occupied or not. The best part about this document is that there's only a few things that we need to adjust. Everything else auto-calculates for itself. So first things first, after repair value. So the after repair value is when we run our comps, what we believe it's going to sell for after we've completely remodeled the property and we're done and we're ready to list it back on the market. So depending on where you're at in the country, for example, I'm in California, so my after repair values are anywhere from probably 400,000 to we do some of our new builds up into the millions. So let's just use a simple number for nationwide averages at $250,000 for our after repair value. We ran our comps and we said, hey, this house, this 3-bedroom, 1-bath home is going to sell for $250,000. Here in a minute, we're going to estimate our repairs. That's one of the next tabs on here. We'll go over that in a second. And then we plug in our purchase price. So this is a number that we're going to kind of guesstimate to see where, to make sure our offer is safe. So let's just say we're going to offer $150,000 on this house. Again, we'll fill in the repair will come from the next tab. All of our holding costs monthly auto-calculate for us. Property taxes, insurance, utility costs, based on the amount of hold time that we have. So typical hold time is 4 to 6 months. Those of you that are doing, quick flips, lipstick on a pig or quick little cosmetic flips, maybe you're only doing it in 4 months. All this stuff will change, but let's just use 6 months as an average just to be safe. So I'm going to scroll down here. Hard costs that are sunk in are buying transaction costs. So you're going to be able to talk to your title rep or your attorney and figure out exactly what your costs are. For me, it's $1,500. Title insurance costs, 0.25%, that plugs in here. So, and if there's any miscellaneous buying costs, you can plug that in here. For example, if you need to give a cash for keys to a tenant, if there's a referral fee and any things like that, you can plug in right here. So your total buying costs are totaled up here. Next is your selling costs. So when we're done, we want to make sure that we have all of our costs associated with the purchase, the rehab, and the sale of this property. That way we know exactly what's going to come in our pocket at the end of this deal. So again, attorney and escrow fees, selling recording fees, realtor fees. This can be 6%, it can be 5%, whatever you negotiate is what this number is. I've negotiated with my agents that I work with that we relist the properties for 4%. That's 1.5% to my listing agent and 2.5% to the buyer's agent who's bringing the buyer. So that's why mine's set at 4%, but you can easily adjust that to whatever you are able to negotiate with your agent. And then it totals it up here at the bottom for your total selling transaction costs. Next is our financing. This again is based on your negotiation skills with your private lenders or your hard money lenders, whether you're paying points or interest. For me, with all of my lenders, we borrow 100% of the purchase and rehab at 12% interest with no monthly payments. So I don't need to necessarily worry about the monthly payments, but it's here in case you need it. So right now, I know that I'm working with a $72,000 spread on this deal if I buy it for $150 and it sells for $250. So now I got to make sure my repair costs are in a certain area to where I'm comfortable and with whatever this profit and ROI is at the end, return on investment. So to get this number, we're going to need to walk the property. To walk the property, we use what's called our repair estimator. It's a 5-page document that goes over the exterior, the interior, and the mechanicals of the property. And there's some other things, but I'll go over this section by section all the way down so we get our total repairs down here at the bottom. Back to the top. First things first, again, customizable document. Your company name goes here. Address, all the information we filled out on the other one. This section, these boxes, it says additional mediator, engineer, or pro quote needed. What this means is you're not an expert in these areas. You can't be an expert in mold or asbestos or a pool or a septic system or lead paint or even a roof for that matter. So when you're out walking a property, you're going to have this sheet with you in paper form. Typically, most people use paper form. It's easier that way. And you're just going to check that box. And as you go through this sheet, you know that you're not going to worry about that because you're going to get an inspection for it. So that way your offer is not based on that. And we disclose that when we write our offer. Okay, so first things first is exterior. So you have all these categories over here on the left. You have a yes or no, and then more details. And again, this is an Excel spreadsheet, so it'll auto-calculate for you. For an example, when you're out walking the property, you're just, if you know it needs a roof, you look at it and you're like, yep, that's hammered. You're just going to type a Y in this section. Yes, it needs a roof. And then move on, right? So when you're out walking the property, your goal is to get in and out of that property in 15 minutes because we have to write, as an example, we have to view 50 houses to write 20 offers to get 1 to 2 deals. So we need to be in and out of all these houses in less than 15 minutes. And that's what this sheet is for. We can be in and out in less than 15 minutes, I guarantee it. So when you're out in the field, it's just yes and no's, and you'll do the math later on this side in the office because you know it's a lot easier because Excel's going to do it for you. You don't need to be an expert in math. So I'm just going to do the computer, but as you're back in the office now, just to show you what this looks like. So we walked, for example, let's say we walk the house, we know it needs a roof. The house was 1,500 square feet, so it's 1,500 square feet. There's our roof cost. So obviously in every part of the country, costs are gonna vary somewhat. So what you can do is you could talk to your roofer and get a square footage cost from him, but typically you'll get some bids and then you'll just adjust this number based on what your area is. So for me in Northern California, I'm at about a $7 per square foot cost. So that would be about a $10,000 roof. Somewhere in the Midwest, you may be at a $5,000, and that's a $7,500 roof for you. So this is totally customizable to your costs in your area. And again, I've adjusted this for my area. But let's say, okay, based on a 1,500 square foot house, again, we'll use a 3-bedroom, 1-bath as 2-bath, 3-bedroom, 2-bath as an example. So as we're going through that, we're going to keep that in mind. It needs a roof. Does it need gutters? Yes. So square footage. If the entire house needed gutters, plug in the whole square footage. It auto calculates it down for you. Done. Move on. So that way, when we're out in the field, it's yes, it needs a roof. Yes, it needs gutters, and then you're moving on. Exterior finish. So we have all different types of exterior finishes to plug in here. But if there's as an example, you can do the whole thing, or you can just do some patches. So example, let's say we walk this house and there's about 3 areas of exterior finish that need to be adjusted. So we just plug in a 3 here and throw in a lump sum of $1,500 for that and move on. Let's say there's no brick, stonework, we're good, move on. Painting, windows, all these things are just kind of lump sum, easy, check the box and move on. So when you're walking a property, does it need painting inside and out? Typically, we're painting the whole house of all the properties that we're using that we're dealing with. Otherwise, we wouldn't be buying it. So if you need to paint interior and exterior out when you're walking in the field, it's just a yes and you're moving on. But when we get back in the computer, plug it in 1,500 square feet, that's a $9,000 paint job. Again, my cost in my area. If you say, no way, my guys are $4 a square foot, there you go. You just make those quick adjustments. Windows. So we're going to do, let's say, retrofit windows. There's about 10 windows in the house, 10 windows done. Boom, we move on. It has a patio door as well, so we'll do one of those. Scroll down. This house, if it needed a garage door, here you go. We got a garage door and an opener. Boom. Costs are automatically calculated for us. But for an example, for this particular property, we didn't need it. Landscaping. So landscaping, we think about it as a lump sum. We just throw some money at it. So large lot, medium lot, small lot, you can do yes, yes, yes in the field. Otherwise, you're just doing a 1 over here as an example. But let's do some light landscaping of this property. Don't need in this concrete, asphalt, decks, pergola, fencing. All these things are here in the exterior. This is your whole exterior section. Okay, so now we walk the exterior of the house. We're going to go to interior now. Painting is the first category. We took care of painting up here in the exterior because it's a whole property. So we're done. We don't even need to worry about this section, but you can if you're doing interior only, you can have a section for that here. Hardwood and flooring. You have hardwood, engineered, laminate, sand and refinish flooring. So we're doing laminate in this house. It's 1,500 square feet, but there's 2 bathrooms, so we'll take out about 150 square feet there. So it's 1,350 square feet, and we move on. I'm not putting carpet in any of my bedrooms, but if you're putting carpet in bedrooms, you have a spot right here for that. You can plug in your carpet. Tile, we tile wet surface areas. So I'm gonna tile both bathrooms. So ceramic floor tile in the bathrooms. That's that other 150 square feet. Boom, I just covered all of the flooring in the house in those two sections that quick, and we're moving on. That's how we're able to get in and out of these houses in less than 15 minutes, and also how we're able to write offers very quickly and move on to the next house. I love this. Kitchen says grouped. So this, in the kitchen numbers, it includes cabinets, countertops, backsplash, plumbing and electrical work, fixtures, and kitchen only. So this is light electrical work in the kitchen, excludes appliances, flooring, and paint. Up here, we already covered the paint. We already covered the flooring. So now all we know in the kitchen, if we're doing a whole kitchen, all else we need to worry about is the appliances, which is right below us right here. So kitchen, think of kitchen as sizing: large kitchen, medium-sized kitchen, small kitchen. Very simple stuff. Next one, if you're refinishing or keeping cabinets, you have a spot for that. And kitchen extra items, if there's something special that you like to do in your kitchen, or you have something that you want to deal with, you can add in stuff right there for that. But for this house, it's a low-end kitchen. It's a small house. Appliances, low 1,500 square feet. 250 is low-end appliances. This appliance package covers refrigerator, range hood, dishwasher, microwave. Typically, you're in a low end, you're doing a range over, so you don't do a range hood and a microwave. But you can get all of these appliances. We're typically putting like GE appliances in, or something that's reasonably priced, and you can get them all for $2,500. Now, if you're thinking, you know what, I'm not doing the whole kitchen, I'm only doing certain things, there's a section for that right here, kitchen by item. So you can go through and pick out each individual item that you want to do if you're not doing the whole kitchen. But more likely than not, we're using the whole kitchen, we're done. So this is an $11,500 kitchen, including appliances. Check the box, we're done, move on. Next is the bathrooms. In the beginning of this video, I told you that we're going to assume this is a 2-bathroom house. 2 bathrooms, both replaced everything, done, move on. So again, this is a group section. So you have your vanity, countertop, mirror, sink, faucet, tub, surround, shower head, faucet kit, towel bar, fan, sorry, towel bar, kit, fan, lighting, basic plumbing, electrical. Only thing it doesn't include is that flooring and paint, which again, we've already taken care of. So if we know we're walking a house, we need a bathroom, it's yes or 2, do. When we're walking the house, 2, done, move on. We just replaced both bathrooms and we're moving on to the next. You have a buy item here as well, just like you do with the kitchen. If you're not doing the whole bathroom, if you're just doing certain items, you can do that as well. But again, we're flipping houses. It's very simple to just do them both in full, because it's the kitchens, bathrooms, sell the house. So that's what we want to make sure that it's done correctly to our buyers' specifications, or what our buyers looking for. For continuing on into the interior, we have other things like framing, insulation, walls, doors, and trim. In framing, you'll find one of the things that we use most often is opening a load-bearing wall. 2,000. This, when you're thinking of opening a load-bearing wall, this figure is based on an 8-foot section. So when you're going through a house and you say, you know what, this house would be amazing with this wall open. Again, we're only opening walls if our comps are telling us to open the wall. But this accounts for an 8-foot section. But if you look at a section and go, you know what, that's about 12 feet. You could just plug in a 1.5 here. That's 12 feet. If it's 16 feet, you can just plug in a 2 there. It automatically calculates it all for you. Insulation, if you're taking stuff to the studs, you can do insulation. Walls is your drywall taping and skimming. You can do the whole thing, or you can also do just patching. You can also just do skim coating, texturing. So this is what we do most often, is just like skim coat, retexture walls. So we'll plug that in there. Doors and trim throughout the house. This is 3,000 square feet. This is a 1,500 square foot house. Our house is 1,500 square feet. Let's plan on replacing all the doors, closet doors, hardware, and trim. Put a 1 there, and we just completed that and moved on. Basements, so all these things that are in yellow in my area, I don't really have basements. I'm not a foundation expert. So these things in yellow, you're definitely going to want to check with your contractors in your area, or not include it and just figure that you're going to assess this during your inspection period once you get your property in contract. But they have certain, excavation, new foundation, repairing foundations. They have installing French drains per square foot. All those things are in there that you can adjust these costs if you know them and you have them. You have your contractor set. You can adjust it and easily use those in your area. Last page, mechanicals. HVAC, plumbing, electrical. Are you doing a complete new heating and air system, ductwork and all? Plug in a 1 there and you're good. For our example, let's say, you know what, we're only gonna service it. So we're just gonna plug this in here. If you're just doing an AC unit, just doing a furnace, repairing boiler or hot water baseboard systems, you know, you can adjust all these figures based on your costs, but all you have to do is plug in a 1 and it calculates it for you. Plumbing, most of the time, we're doing a water heater. Usually we need one, but if you need to repipe an entire house, you can use this number based on what your area is. That's about what ours is for a 1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, about $7,500. Electrical, rewire, electrical house with a new, all electrical, new panel, new lighting fixtures is all wrapped in there. Boom. All you have to do is put a 1 if you're doing rewiring an entire house. You don't need to be an expert, but if you walk in a house and you know, I need to rewire this entire house, all you have to do is plug in a 1 and you're done and move on. But a lot of times we're just replacing all the light fixtures. We don't have to do a ton of electrical work. So $2,000 is a ton for, that'll probably even give you some minor electrical repairs in a standard 3-2 house. Last but not least is other, demo and dumpster rentals, right? If we know we need some demo work, so we put the labor is here, the dumpster is here. That's it, 1 and 1. Termites, typically you're gonna deal with this during an inspection, but you can, if you know there's termites for whatever reason, you can plug in this if you'd like, but we usually wait for an inspection on that. Permits, once you do your research, you'll know what permits are in your area. Most of the time, for minor rehabs, our permits are over the counter, so they're about $750. We use a project manager on some of our projects, so that's why we added this line item in. I've used a general contractor, so I've added his fee in before. So you can customize this to your area and what you're doing. It has extra line items for you to do all that, and it auto calculated here for you. Next is staging. We stage 95% of our properties. My flat fee staging is around $3,200 with my stager, so I just put a 1 there and I stage the house. Miscellaneous and contingency cost, 10 to 20% depending on unknowns. I've been doing this for over 11 years now. I still put a contingency in here because we're going through these houses. We want to be in and out in 15 minutes. We know we're not getting every screw and light bulb and outlet and fixture. So we have a miscellaneous or a contingency bucket that we'll call to have all those items flow into as we're walking through these houses that we're not getting every little detail in. So that 15%, it's $11,500. That's a pretty good little bucket of money that we can use for all those little things that we don't account for. When you're starting out, absolutely use 20%. As you get better, you can go to 15 or 10. I've gone to 10 before, and it's come back to bite me. So I like to stay around 15%. So with everything I said, again, this is California numbers. We're at a $91,000 rehab. Let me pop back over here to my deal analyzer. 91,000 auto-populated over here. That tells me I'm going to lose $25,000 on this deal. That is a no deal. So that means I can go back up here to my purchase price, plug that into a $100,000 house. I'm making $27,000 now at a 12.5% ROI. This is where you can make a business decision to say, is it worth it for me to make $27,000 to do all that work? That's an iffy deal if you're putting $91,000 into a house. So that's going to be a business decision on your end. Now, if you walk this house and said, hey, you know what? It's not going to take me 6 months to do this. I can be in and out of this house in 2 months, listed, in escrow, closed, done in 4 months. Now I'm making $33,000, 15% ROI. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable. So this is a very handy tool to make an educated business decision for your company to decide, you know what? I could make 33 grand. I'd be happy with that. Good. You know, you hit a delay. It takes 5 months. Oh, okay. 30 grand. I'm still okay. In my business model, I want to do, if I'm doing a property, I don't want to make anything less than $30,000. That's what works for my business. So if I'm looking at this deal in California in my market with my numbers, I'm saying, yep, I'm going to do that deal, but you need to make that business decision for yourself. One of the last tabs on here is the investment summary. Now, this is really cool because it gives you an opportunity. It gives you a 1 cover page document for you to send out to your lenders or your hard money guys to decide if they want to lend on this deal with you. Auto-populates the loan amount that you need. You can plug in your closing date here. Gives you all the numbers broken down to this deal and what all the costs are going to be so they can see it. Comparables. What you're going to do is you're going to plug in your comps here that you're using for your comparables for your flip. Plug all these in and attach the comps to this. What things that you should attach: tax assessor's card, map with comps, your budget, which is your repair estimator, your deal analyzer, which is your first page of this tab, and then photos of the interior and exterior. You have a blueprint right here in one document on everything you need to send to your lenders to get them to get a quick yes or no from your lenders on whether they'll lend on this deal or not. So again, that was the quick little 1,000-foot overview of our deal analyzer with repair estimator and investment summary. Hope you enjoyed it. And if there's any questions, feel free to reach out. We'd love to answer them for you. Looking forward to talking to you guys soon. If there's anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a good day.